Hey, I'm back. It's been 3 months. Let's get into it. I'm B. I make stuff. Maker B podcast. I promise the name is like the least creative part. Maybe I shouldn't promise. I think the name is the least creative part of this whole thing. Yeah, I make stuff. I share it here. Today it's mostly spinning and knitting, which is great. And what else can I tell you? I'm coming to you from Northeast North America for the second to last time. It's gonna be Northwest soon. Yeah, and I make stuff. I've got 4 finished objects, maybe 5, 2 works in progress, some things to show. I was away all summer, away from this podcast anyways, and I didn't make a whole lot this summer because a lot of things happened. It was a busy summer. I frogged a lot of things this summer, unfortunately. I did a lot of frogging, and that's okay. It's all good. So yes, where do we start? Last time I seen you, I was going to Ireland. I went to Ireland, met Siobhan. Hi Siobhan, if you're watching. No pressure to watch the podcast, of course. But I met Siobhan, and Siobhan and I hung out in Ireland. She was like, hey, you're coming to Ireland. Do you want some suggestions of what to do? Because I mentioned it in my last podcast. And I was like, yes. And also, do you want to hang out with a stranger from the internet? And she said, sure. So we hung out for a day. I got a personal tour of Cork, which was awesome. And was taught how to say Donegal. I think I said Donegal, and she was like, no, don't say that. And I believe it's Donegal. And it has been 3 months, so I could be saying that wrong as well. But when I was in Ireland, I got myself some Donegal. Hope I'm saying it right. It's basically the word. You know when you say something too many times, and then you're like, what does that word even mean? So I'm hoping I've got some Donegal. Nope, Donegal. Donegal wool. This is Atlantic Coast yarn, spun in Ireland, Shannon Cashmere silk. So I think it's 6% cashmere, no, 4% cashmere, 4% silk, 92% merino wool. It's a nice Barney purple. I love you, you love me. Let's go out and knit Barney. Am I right? I got 5 of these skeins when I was on what's the word I'm looking for? Aran Islands. So of course, which are famously known for Aran sweaters, famously also known as fisherman sweaters, here anyways, in the part of the world that I'm in. They're heavily cabled sweaters, so of course I'm gonna have to do something cabled with these guys. I'm not sure what that is yet. I'll figure it out though, and I'll get back to you on it. So I got 5 skeins of this. Very reasonable. I think the 5 skeins of this yarn was 90 Canadian dollars, which is a really good price. That's like $17 per skein. Pretty good for the speckled stuff. It's comparable to the I gotta stop saying comparable to the Hedgehog Tweedy, which I'm like, it's a better price. So yeah, so I picked that up when I was in Ireland. When we were in Ireland, I also did a massive hike. I saw like thousands of sheep. We did the Dingle Way. If you know what that is, that's amazing because I didn't know what that was before I did it. But it's like a seaside walk. They're considered pilgrimages, similar to like the Camino. So it was called like the Kerry Camino was another one that they had. There was also the Burren Way. So there's a lot of like long distance walks that you can do in Ireland, which is awesome. But the Dingle was amazing because we didn't have to carry a tent when we were doing it. So we got to walk like 30 kilometers and then stay at a bed and breakfast, and then 30 kilometers, or like walk 15 kilometers, have a cafe lunch, and then stay at a bed and breakfast. It was amazing. So that was great. And meeting Siobhan was really nice. So hi Siobhan, nice to meet you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're knitting something nice. Yeah. And so that's what I bought when I was there. I didn't buy anything all of July because I didn't have a craft budget for July. There were some other expenses that were more important. But then Zoe and I went to Montreal for our last trip to Montreal before we moved to Vancouver. God, it's coming up way too fast. So we went to Montreal. We did a house swap with our buddy's sister, which is the only way to travel for a cheap price, to be honest. We did a house swap, so we took care of her cats and she took care of our cat. and she lived really close to everything we wanted to do, which was amazing. So yeah, I ended up, there was a new yarn store since I had been in Montreal previously, and it was Les Garçons. And I got this blue yarn for the Clematis, I believe it's called. It's the vest that has the buttons from here to here. So this is for the Clematis. It is superwash. I thought I was getting non-superwash. I got superwash yarn. What can you do? Apparently, so I went in there and I was like, wow, this is like fancy. This store is really nice. And these folks were at Flock, which had just happened, I guess. Or was happening? No, it had just happened. And I was like, I think these guys are kind of like knitting famous. And I think they are. I looked them up and I was like, they have a pattern on like the first page of Ravelry right now. And I had no idea who they were before I went to that store. So I was like, that's really cool. When I get back on Instagram, I'll look them up and I'll say, oh my God, of course. That's amazing. So yeah, I got 2 of those. And, well, I got 3 of those actually, but I'm only going to show you 2 because you don't need to see all 3 skeins. And the other thing I got was at, what store was I at that I got that? It was La Maison Chicoté. And I got twin socks. Self-striping. You know those colors are going to be amazing when they're on my body. Usually I go to, oh my God, heavy sigh, sorry. Usually I go to the word I'm looking for. Oh, the place is called Espace Tricot when I'm in Montreal. But I didn't get to go this year because they were closed the days that I was able to go. So yeah, that is what I have purchased in the last 3 months. All plans to make things. Next up, we'll do my works in progress. Aren't we all a work in progress? So the first thing I'm going to show you is spinning work in progress. You'll remember that I bought this beautiful, well, 4 of these beautiful braids when I was at Knit City, Toronto. Beautiful colors. I'm dropping names like I'm traveling a lot. I'm like, I was in Toronto in May, and then I was in Ireland, and then I was in Montreal. It's bananas. I'm all over the place. I gotta stay in one place for a little while, hey? I'm actually moving, so I can't do that, haha. But I wanted to show you, sorry, tangent. The braid, beautiful braid. This guy is, I believe it's Corey Dale and Romney. And the color is springing, which I think is really pretty. This guy is really fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. Fibers, fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. And then I made those into roll eggs because I tried to do long draw for the first time. And because Brittany of Crux Fibers, she was like, you should do long draw with this. And I was like, I know how to do long draw. And she's like, do you? And I said, I'll look up a YouTube video. And then I tried to do long draw, and I really felt like it hurt my shoulders. Like, because I've got a Kiwi 3, so the orifice, I hate that word, is right in front of me. I had to really pull back to get that distance for the air pockets and whatnot, as you do. And I really felt like I can only do them in small bursts because my back hurts so much when I do long draw, but I committed to it for a certain amount of the fiber, so I was like, I have to do long draw for all of it. So I've got two of these fully skeined up, and then one of them is on, this is what it looks like as a single. It's the single. Look at that teal. I like the pink combo teal. It's very 80s to me. Don't look at my chip nails, okay? Don't look at those. I'm embarrassed. Very 80s, and then this is what the skein looks like. I'm hiding my face so it focuses. So yeah, the long draw, you can see how much air. Maybe you can't. You can see air, can't you? You can see the air. You can see this is so squishy. Like the squish is unreal. The squish is bananas, man. The squish is crazy. Yeah, it's really squishy. There's a lot of air in here. I think you're supposed to be able to get more yardage with long draw, but I'm not finding that. I think because I'm probably not doing it perfectly, and that's okay. But I want to make a moon crush when I'm finished with these. And I think they just look so nice. So yeah, that's springing. I gotta do a yardage count for it. I haven't washed these yet. There's another one right there. Can you see it? I think that's it. This is gonna be my thumbnail. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. And what else can I tell you about it? Long draw was hard on my body. I don't love it. But people love long draw. I think it depends on the wheel you have. I think it's fully dependent on the wheel you have. And that's okay. So yeah, hopefully I will get this finished. Well, not hopefully. There's a bunch of spinning projects I have to get done before I move. Because in my mind, that's a good deadline to have. And this is certainly one of them. And then the other is this fleece I've been washing. This is my own fleece that I've been washing. It's behind the camera. It is all, it's just my fleece that's everywhere. But my friends Kate and Adam gave me this fleece, and I want to give them the yarn before I leave. So I have to dye this and spin it up for them. And I'm about 3/4 the way through washing the fleece. And when I say fleece, it's actually 3 fleeces. 3 of them. And that's why it's taking me so long to wash it, because it's so many fleeces actually shoved into one feed bag. Feed bag is right there. But it's all good. We're doing well. We're getting there. I want to finish my long draw first, and then I'm going to create more yarn with the other stuff. But it's quite soft. It's quite nice. And that's it for spinning. I think, in terms of works in progress. I've also got these little guys here. My little turtle and my little drop spindle. Little cobs, I guess. And these are going to become sock yarn eventually when I get around to applying them. Who knows when I'll do that. It wouldn't be a podcast episode without Elton stopping by. Hi, buddy. And then for spinning finished objects, I just have this one right here. This is a bat that I spun up. Very pretty. It's got alpaca merino, some flax in there, and certainly some glitter. Spirulina? That's not the word. Spirulina? Isn't that algae supplement that people put in their smoothies? Stellina. This is stellina. There's some stellina in here. There's some random orange bits in this that I think are really fun. Yeah, some red in there that I'm like, oh, that's silly. Love it. This is from Lewis and Jane. That's a bat from Lewis and Jane. So yeah, those are my spinning endeavors, if you will. I'm just looking around to make sure that I haven't missed anything. And I don't think I have. So that rocks. Next up, I am plowing through this. My works in progress. I've got 3 works in progress. One, the boring one, is socks. I feel like I'm always making socks. I just did a roll cuff with this. I think I got this yarn in a Christmas, Crux Fibers Christmas, when Brittany was still doing Superwash. A Crux Fibers Christmas kit in 2020. And I was like, I have to knit these up before I move. Knit it up. And they're just really good for, bopping around. I feel like when I just need a project to shove in my bag. Easy. Easy as pie. I don't even think I use a pattern for this. This is just like a standard 64 stitch sock on a 2.25 millimeter needle, which is, to me, the best sock recipe. I'm sure that's in a vanilla sock recipe. And then it's just a rolled cuff, because sometimes you don't feel like doing ribbing. I think rolled cuffs rolled cuffs feel very 2000s to me, very groovy girl-ish, very cutesy, patootsy. Yeah. I don't know why I talk about this so much, but this is my sock whip. Very, very boring sock whip. Other works in progress that I think are much less boring. So you will have seen that on my last podcast. If you watched it, if you didn't, you don't have to watch it because we're here now. You will have seen that I bought yarn to start my heirloom quilt cardigan. Hello, heirloom quilt cardigan. We are doing it. We are living it. These are all sweet little Intarsia sawtooth blocks that are going to be sewn up into a little cardigan, and they're going to look so cute. This is the Gilead worsted weight yarn that I bought at the Knitting Loft in Toronto when I was there for Knit City. And I got great help from Rebecca, I believe. So thank you to Rebecca. In choosing colors. Yes, this is all the Gilead worsted weight. And I think I said this maybe last time, but Gilead to me sounds like The Handmaid's Tale country. So I don't like saying, I feel uncomfortable saying it. I'm like, Gilead? I don't know. But they're all in French. So like Printemps is one. One of them is Emerald, but in French. Yeah, and we're making good progress. I hope to have this finished by the end of the month so I can wear it as a cardigan for fall. I know. Bananas idea. Absolutely wild. But that's the goal. The colors are very jewel tone-ish to me. And then I've joined two of them together. So yeah, you can see that these two are my first two. And I joined different, like I can see I use different techniques to join them. I don't like this one as much. This one is much better, I think. It looks a bit like wavier, but this one looks like it's two teeth chomping together. So I'm gonna go for mattress stitch. I know, controversial. Not really, but yeah. That's what I'm making there. And it's so fall, right? I'm like, that's literally a pumpkin. It's a pumpkin right there. So we're getting ready for fall. A lot of jewel tones for fall. Groundbreaking. What's the line? Not groundbreaking. It's florals for spring. It's from The Devil Wears Prada. I can't remember what it is. Don't mind me. Oh, throwing things. So that is one of my works in progress. I'm not sure about the fit of that yet because I haven't sewn things together. I don't love the look of the sleeves. In most people's finished objects, they look bulky to me, like unnecessarily so. And so I'm going to try to do like, because this is a color work motif, I want to try to do a flying geese motif on the arms to make them and then make them like give them decreases a little bit. Because I think that will look more, like that'll look better in my opinion, I think, than just plain sleeves after having a busy body. So yeah, I want to have like a, because I feel like flying geese and the sawtooth are like some of the most iconic quilt blocks out there. Flying geese is just like the triangles. So I'm going to try to do flying geese sleeves and we'll see how that goes. Stay tuned, I guess. And then my last work in progress that I've been working on. This is something that I frogged fully, the whole body, until I got back. But this is the White Mountains Raglan by Midori Hirose. This is her in all her glory. Hello, beautiful. We are marling. We are doing short rows. So this is a really interesting, it's going to be really hard to see, and I am sorry for that. But the construction of this is very interesting. I don't know if you can tell. But we've got like a raglan increase here and there on the back. Can you see the raglan increases? Oh, you can see it a bit better with the light in the back there. So it's raglan increases, but also with like a hole for the sleeve. And the neckline is quite beautiful. But I like the way that it looks. Like you can see it pops out a little bit, so it sits on the shoulder a little bit, as opposed to like almost kind of like this cut where it's like a little bit on your shoulder, but down. It's quite nice. And so I cast this on and I did my gauge swatch and I didn't really do anything else in terms of fit checking because everything I've knit from Midori Hirose is like perfect. To me, their patterns are amazing because you buy them and they're like, okay, you want to do it with sleeves? Perfect. Here's with sleeves. Different gauge? Okay, here's how to do that. Okay, do you want to do no sleeves? Here's a full pattern how to mod it for no sleeves. Just the way that they offer so many tested options for people who want to customize their garments. And I love that. And so I'm like, I'll give you all my money because it makes sense to me to pay you to do the work so I don't have to do the work. And also their patterns are very reasonably priced. But so I cast this on, and I didn't check how it fit because I trusted them so well. I was like, I know my measurements, I know my gauge. I believe in Midori Hirose. I believe. And I shouldn't have done that because I got to my night when I was gonna do my one mod was gonna be a split hem, so like ribbing in the front and back that are split, but a little bit shorter in the front, a little bit longer in the back, because I had the yarn for it. So I was like, I just don't want to waste this yarn. But hey, guess what? I tried it on and it was terrible gaping here. And it was like this. The amount of stitches they chose to do for the cast on underneath the arm, I was really surprised at. And it looked so gapey. And I think maybe what happened is that amount of cast on stitches would have been really good for adding a sleeve, but because there was no sleeve to cinch, if you will, it was just loosey-goosey. And so I knit the whole body with a cast on, and there was a line of purl down the edge here. And so in between the purl was like the cast on stitches. And I just decided to make the purl stitches touch, because the only thing that's worse than doing full body stockinette is doing full body stockinette but with one stitch that's different. And there was like 4 single stitches that were purl, and I had to keep stopping, and I was like, you know what? Second time around, I don't even like the detail that much. I'm just not going to do it. And I cast on less stitches in the middle, and I made the purl connect at the bottom, which you can't see very well, but I made them do a little V down here, and then the body is just stockinette. That's one of my mods. And I'm almost at the split for sleeves again, but I did have to frog all that hard work. And also I shortened the torso, or the chest part, a little bit as well, which I've never had to make mods for Midori Hirose, but because I'm working the sleeveless version, maybe it hasn't been tested as well, and that's okay. This yarn is Plied Sport Weight. They're a Boston/New Hampshire company. It has, I have hiccups, sorry. It has both of the names on the tag, but it's made in the States. It is a little bit itchy. So I believe she will be a layering piece for fall. I've got a great like chartreuse turtleneck that I think will look so nice underneath this. So yeah, that's that. Work in progress. It'll be finished next time I see ya. I'm going on a camping trip this weekend with my buddy, so I'll literally just bring this project and I'll finish her off. Yeah, it'll be good. Okay, and then let's talk finished objects, since we've done all of that. First finished object I have to show you is my Stripe Hype sweater by Veronica Lindberg. This guy took not that long, to be honest. It is like a hand spun / my Rhinebeck yarn sweater. I'm very, very proud of it. What am I looking at here? The colors, it's going to be Corriedale, and then all of this is natural dyes, dyed in New York, which was pretty close to where Rhinebeck happened. So I bought this yarn at Rhinebeck last year, and I wanted to finish it by the time this Rhinebeck came around. And I did that. And I finished it, honestly, I actually wore this on our hike most of the time when we were hiking in Ireland, and it was like a little bit chilly. I would wear this the whole time. So this is like this sweater has been worn and like walking with my arms swinging for kilometers and kilometers and kilometers. But you can actually see there's very little pilling. And so this is quite itchy as well, but I think that's a trade-off. Less pilling for, yes. So this sweater is a drop sleeve sweater. I love the fit of a drop sleeve pattern on me. I really want to try a saddle shoulder pattern coming up next. The arms are super short. It's very interesting. And it's twisted rib on the neckline, and at the bottom it is not twisted rib because my buddy finished the bottom for me. Kate finished the bottom. We hung out over Easter weekend and with some friends doing a craft weekend, and Kate forgot her knitting, and so she wanted to knit. So I was like, oh, you can knit the bottom of my sweater for me. And she sure did that. So thank you, Kate. That rocked. So this is a group project, which I think is very sweet. Wait, another sweet story that I forgot to tell. So one sweet story is that group project knitting. She did my ribbing for me. Bless her heart. I forgot to ask for twisted rib. I'm not gonna frog that though because it's too nice that someone else did that. I'm like, I can't take that out. It doesn't even bother me that much. So love that sweater. Would recommend this pattern 1,000,000%. Super easygoing. Very, very, what's what I'm looking for? So useful. So simple. Very demure, very mindful. The other cute story that I have is that on my birthday, I was knitting this quilt block and listening to my favorite artist perform out in an outdoor concert in Halifax, or in Dartmouth, I guess, which is across the bay from Halifax. But I was watching this concert, and my favorite artist sang my favorite song, which he has not performed. I've seen him perform like, I don't know, 20 times. But I've never seen him perform my favorite song before, and he did that on my birthday, and I was knitting this little guy right here. So I'm like, that's really special and very nice. Just so you know. Just so you know that happened. That happened. Okay, other finished objects. This one, we know her, we love her. We've seen me deal with her so much. This is my Beads of Joy top by James and Watts. This was a saga. This poor shirt took me 2 years to make. I knit the back panel. It was awesome. Knit the front panel. Lost the front panel. Went to Knit City. Bought yarn. Reknit the front panel. Tried it on. It's too small for me. Finished it after so many years. So much money. It's too small. I made it too small for me. And you know why it's too small? It's because my body changed in a 2-year span. Which is shocking. I know. Bodies change in a 2-year span. It's just normal for bodies to do that. And so I'm so sad. I do have yarn left, and I am going to frog the entire thing and redo it. Not now. Not like in the near future, but like I can put it on. It is like comfortable to wear, but it's just too tight. It's just too tight to wear. I'm very depressed. Not depressed actually, but I'm very sad that it's not what I was hoping it would be. And so here we are with the shirt that took me 2 years, so much strife, so much heartache. The yarn is Spin Cycle Ranunculus. Yeah, and I'm very sad about it. So I'm gonna let that happen. I'm like, that's none of my business anymore. That's over. It's all good. It's not all good, but it's over now. And I'm gonna put this away and not gonna think about it for about half a year, and then I'll probably reknit it in the springtime, and it'll be quick and easy and no stress at all, right? Right. But yeah, I'm not even gonna talk about this, but just so you know, I did finish it. It's just How to Be a Heartbreaker by Marina Diamonds. The last 2 finished objects I have are socks. Nothing crazy. We got Fisherman's or Broken Rib socks by Summerly Knits. You've seen these in the last episode. And these are my Pride Month socks. I knit these in June for the gay people. Me, I'm the gay people. This is a Pride Month sock. I didn't want to do like plain, plain self-striping. So I said, what if we did wavy self-striping? And it looks pretty good. And this is it was a free pattern. It's called the Wave Sock. And I did my angled toe for my toes that are angled. Because everyone's toes are angled. So yeah. That's that on that. Those are my finished objects. I've got nothing bananas to report. That's kind of everything. One thing I do want to share is that I've been reading so many books, like so many books. And I've been reading some really good books and some really bad books. And let's talk about that. So fundamentally, I read because I need audio in my head at all times. Otherwise, I'll have a single thought, and that'll be terrible for everyone. I don't want to have a thought. It'll be very bad. And the other reason that I read is because I enjoy fantasy so much, and I didn't realize that I enjoyed fantasy so much, but I love it. And so I've got some book recommendations. I read a lot of like sapphic fiction, a lot of like dykey romance, because I just love lesbians. Sue me. I love lesbians. So the best book that I read last month was a lesbian romance, and it was called Last Night at the Telegraph Club. It's set in Chinatown in San Francisco in the 1950s/60s. I can't exactly remember what, but it's by Melinda Lowe, and I think it's one of my favorite like historical fiction like lesbian romances I've read. I really loved the way that, like, so at the very end of the book, Melinda Lowe has a whole like 10 pages of what their research was for this, and it's amazing. And it's dedicated to butches and femmes, which I'm like, beautiful, gorgeous to me. And the whole book, it's like, it was very honest without being hard to read, because I do find a lot of historical fiction for queer things generally hard to read, right? You don't get a happy ending in 1950. But this one was, I think, the way that they wrote the book was very much like, it's possible to actually be happy and live this life at this time, which I don't think we've had access to. So that book for me, I was like reading it. I stayed up till like truly 2 a.m. and I go to bed at 9. I was like, I have to finish this. Like, I can't stop thinking about it. So I finished it and I loved it. Yeah. So yeah, that book was my favorite book I read in August, for sure. Favorite book that I read. Oh, and I also love, sorry, maybe not. Yes, and another historical fiction. It's fiction. Like, it wouldn't actually happen fiction. Was Don't Want You Like Your Best Friend. Love that book. What other books I recommend? I really enjoyed The Age of Magical Overthinking. I found it super interesting. Oh my god. And my favorite book I read all summer. If you are, okay, I recommend this book only if you like romance novels. This is not for a non-romance novel reader, because it's trope city and you have to love tropes you have to like buy in to enjoy this. Like, you can't just, if you're like, I love to read literature, don't read this book. It's not for you. This book is for people who love who love tropes and who love romance novels for the tropes and that whole situation. But Chef's Choice is what the book is, and it's a tea for tea romance, and it's incredible. Like, and if you're an audiobook lover, I recommend the audiobook specifically because the voice actress, I'm not sure actually, the person who does the voices for the audiobook does like 15 accents. Like, it's a wild ride. It is entertaining as all fucking hell. So 1000% recommend that book if you love romances and you love gay people. That's a good book to read. I also read the Iron Flame and Fourth Wing books. They were awesome. I need you to read them. If you hate them, I hate you. No, I'm joking. No, of course not. But yeah, okay. I think I'm running out of steam, so I think it's time for me to go. Next week, I am going to tell you all about my fall knitting plans, because I have so many plans. I have so many plans, man. I got a lot of plans. Oh my god. I forgot to tell you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my Sun Gazer in Big Sky by Spin Cycle. Yeah. I love this shirt so much. This is by James and Watts. Okay. But yeah. Okay. I love you. I mean it. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, that's bananas. But, okay, love you. Bye.